For the next two problems, we are going to simplify the radicals, and we have to take out the i's. So remember, square root of -1 is an I. So we can rewrite this as square root of -1 times square root of 256. So the square root of -1 is going to give us I, and we'll work on the 256. So 256, that's kind of a hard number. If we go with primes, it ends in an even digit. So we can do 2 times 128. Just use your calculator. 2 is a prime. 128 we can divide by 2 again, and it will go 64 times. These are prime. 64 is 8 times 8. So this problem is made of a lot of 2's. So 2 times 4 and 2 times 4. And we're going to go down one more time. So the 4 will give us 2 2's, a 2 here, and 2 2's. Right, so we'll make our groups of 2 because it's a square root. So there's 1 2 going outside, one more 2, one more 2, and one more 2. So if I did this correctly, that is a perfect square. So 1 2 for each of those goes to the outside of the radical. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 gives us a 16I. If I had checked the 256 on my calculator beforehand, it would have given me a perfect square root of 16, and I would not have had to go through all this. Right, next we have the square root of -72. So we need to take that I out for the square root of -1. So this will be square root of -1, which is our I, times square root of 72. Now I'm going to check this time on the calculator. 72 is not a perfect square. So we'll break it down. The square root of -1, this is my I. 72, I see 9 times 8. And 9 will give me some 3's. 8 will give me some 2's. And that 4 will go down one more time. Right, now I will take out for my squares. So I can take 1 3 to the outside for that group. I can take 1 2 to the outside. It will multiply by the 3. This 2 is left, and both of those will multiply by the I. So this is 6 times I, and underneath my radical I still have a 2. In this problem we're subtracting two complex numbers, and really you're just going to distribute your minus here, and then you will combine like terms. The I actually works just like a variable. So let's distribute this minus to the second set of parentheses. Let's rewrite. There's no reason for the first set of parentheses, so you have -1 minus I. This will give us -3 and a minus 7I. Now we'll put like terms together. So our constants, -1 and -3, they're like signs. Add, keep the sign, gives us -4. For the I terms, -1I and -7, so that will give us a -8I, and this is in the form A plus BI. For our next problem, we're just adding two complex numbers. Just check around your parentheses and make sure there's nothing to distribute. With the first one, there's not, so we can take the parentheses off. And with the second one, there's not. It's just like a +1 outside there, so we'll have +3 plus 8I. And now you're going to put like terms together. So if we do our constants, those are different signs, so subtract sign of the larger. And then our I terms, 7 plus 8 will be 15. And you keep the I just like you would a variable. Next, we're going to multiply two complex numbers, and these just look like binomials. So we'll do it like a FOIL problem. That's just a memory trick. So the first terms, 5 times 5 is 25. O is outside edge. So 5 times negative I will be negative 5I. I is for inside, so will give us plus 30I. And last, 6I times negative I will give us negative 6I squared. And remember, when you get I squared, that is a negative 1. So we have negative 1 times the negative 6. That's going to give us a positive 6. So we'll have 25 plus 6 will give us 31. And then we will put our I terms together. They are different signs, so they're going to subtract to give us 25 and sign of the larger. So 31 plus 25I. We have one more problem in this group, and it is a binomial squared. We can write that twice and do FOIL. Be careful and don't just try to take the 2 down. You're not allowed to do that because it is not a product. So we'll write it twice and do our FOIL. So first term, 6 times 6 is 36. Outside plus 30I. Inside plus 30I. And last will be 25I squared. Remember, the I squared gives you a negative 1 times your 25. So that's going to give us a minus 25. We'll combine that with the 36, and it will give us 11. Our 30 i's can go together to give us 60I. So 11 plus 60I.